Good morning. Today we are going to continue section 11. Okay. Now what section 11 is telling, every person is competent to contract if he is of age of majority according to the law to which he is subject, and who is of sound mind and not disqualified from contracting by any law to which he is subject. Okay. In the previous lecture we have seen about the position of minor, because the competent person is whom? The major person who can enter into contract. Minor's contract is void ab initio. Okay. Now today we are going to continue with the sound mind and all. See, a person is said to be a sound mind when he understands everything, isn't it? Means he understands the repercussions, he understands the rights, the obligations which are being created in a contract. Okay. Therefore, what is unsound and when he can enter into contract, that is mentioned in section 12. What is a sound mind for purposes of contracting? A person is said to be sound mind for the purpose of making contract if at the time when he makes it he is capable of understanding it and of forming a rational judgment as to its effect upon his interest. Means he knows on what he is signing, on what he is giving the signature. He is capable of understanding it and forming a rational judgment that what the terms and conditions are which are going to effect and how they are going to take effect upon his interest. Everything when a person knows very well, then he is called as a sound mind. And for entering into a contract, a sound mind person is needed. Okay. Now the section continues as, a person who is usually unsound but occasionally of sound mind may make a contract when he is sound mind. Means he is usually unsound but occasionally sound, then he can enter into contract when he is sound. Okay. Further the section continues, a person is usually sound mind but occasionally of unsound mind may not make a contract when he is unsound. May not make a contract when he is unsound. It means he can make a contract when he is sound. Okay. Now when a sound person makes a contract, the contract is valid. A major person, a sound person is very much essential. Now this soundness or unsoundness we can discuss based upon three points. One is lunatic, the other is idiot, and the third is drunkard. Okay. Now lunatic. Lunatic is a person who is mentally deranged due to some mental strain. He is suffering from intermittent intervals of sanity and insanity. Therefore, section 12, two paragraphs are there. The second and the third paragraph, okay, means the main section is there, and further two paragraphs have been made. In these two paragraphs, what is mentioned? A person is usually unsound mind, what he can do. A person who is usually of sound mind, what he can do. If you read both the provisions, we can see that it is allowed by law to enter into contract when he is sound. See, a person who is usually unsound but occasionally sound can make a contract when he is sound. A person is usually sound, just opposite. Previously it was usually unsound. Now it is usually sound but occasionally unsound. May not make a contract when he is unsound. May not make a contract when he is unsound means he can make a contract when he is sound. Okay. Now lunatic is such a person who suffers from intermittent intervals of sanity and insanity. He can enter into contract when he is sound. Okay. The second is idiot. Idiot is a person who has completely lost his mental powers. He does not exhibit understanding of even ordinary matters. Such a person is an idiot. Idiocy is permanent, whereas lunacy denotes periodical sanity and insanity. But idiot is a person who is permanently affected. He is not going to understand anything hereafter also. So an idiot cannot enter into a contract because he is completely unsound. Okay. Now the third is what? Drunkard person or an intoxicated person. Now such a person is going to suffer the incapacity for a temporary period, Because of intoxication, what has happened? He is incapable of forming rational judgments. He is similar to lunatic. Means when he is in the effect of, or when he is drunkard, at that time is not able to understand anything, not able to understand on what he is giving the signature, what he is giving the signature, in the sense whatever is mentioned there, how it is going to affect his interest. For some temporary period he has lost his capacity to think rationally. Therefore, when he is in a drunkard state, he enters into a contract, he enters into an agreement, then that is void. Because a sound person is needed, and here the drunkard person is not a sound mind at that moment. But when he becomes sober, he understands everything. Now he is sound. At that time he can enter into contract. Okay, means the concept of sound person we discuss on the basis of lunatic, idiot and drunkard. Lunatic is a person who is suffering from sanity and insanity. Okay, when he is sane, he can enter into a contract. Idiot is a person who is affected by insanity and he will never recover from that. Therefore, an idiot cannot enter into a contract. If he enters into any agreement, that is void. The third is drunkard. Drunkenness or intoxication is having effect, but that is a temporary effect upon his mind. Therefore, when he becomes sober, his sound mind, he can enter into contract. Okay, now section 11 is telling about a person must be major, a person must be sound mind, and the third is he should not be disqualified by law. Means law has disqualified some persons that they can't enter into contracts, like an alien enemy. When a war is declared in between his country and our country, he becomes our alien enemy. He is disqualified, we are disqualified to enter into contract with him. We can't do that because it is against public policy. Okay. Second is a corporation, a company. Yes, it can enter into contract because it is a body corporate, but they have to enter into contract. They have to do all the things which are mentioned in the object clause of their memorandum. That is only allowed. Okay. That is only allowed. Okay. Means when a company makes a contract which is ultra vires its object, then it is completely void. Okay. Therefore, corporation is having limited powers. Next is insolvent. When a person is declared insolvent, he cannot enter into any kind of legal relationship regarding his property, because once he is declared insolvent, all the property vests in the official receiver or the official trustee appointed by the court. Means the whole property goes under the control of the court, and now the court will decide what to do about that property. And what the court decides, the court is going to sell it off by auction. Maximum amount is going to get recovered from that, and whatever proceeds the court gets, the receiver gets from that auction will be distributed proportionately and all among all his creditors. Therefore, an insolvent person cannot directly enter into a contract. Personal rights are available to him, but property rights have come to an end. Okay. Now next is what? Convict. Convict is a person who is undergoing imprisonment. He is incapable of entering into contract because he is in prison. But he can do so when he is on parole and all. When he comes back home, he can enter into contract. Convict, however, does not suffer from rigors of law of limitation. It is held in abeyance during the period of sentence. Therefore, when he is not allowed to enter into contract, the limitation period is going to stop for him. Okay, because we have restricted him from entering into a contract. Therefore, convict, a person who is undergoing imprisonment, he is not allowed to enter into contract. Therefore, who are disqualified? An insolvent person is disqualified, a convict person is disqualified, alien enemy has been disqualified, and a corporation, many are there, but a corporation is having limitation that they can enter into contract only on the subject matter which is mentioned in their object clause. Okay. Now this is section 11, which tells competency to contract. A person who is major, sound mind and not disqualified by law. And section 12 is telling who is of sound mind, a person who is capable of understanding the terms and conditions of contract and having a rational judgment that it is going to have effect upon his interest. Okay, today we have completed competency to contract. Okay, bye bye. See you in the next video.